Welcome back on the AM show. Ghana is set to host the Africa Skills Week. And the question is, what does this mean for Ghana and skills development? We'll be telling you about that as we host the Director General of the Commission for Technical Vocational Education Training in Ghana, Dr. Fred Che Asamoah. He is the Director General, and he joins me in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Benjamin.
It's good having you. It's been how many months now?
I think about four or 5 months, I think.
So here's where I'm going to start from. I know that every time you come on the show, you give us a briefing of what you've been up to. I'd like to find out from the TVET perspective, what has Ghana been able to attain within the last few months? What have you been up to? What are the updates you want to give us?
Okay. So, thank you very much. We're continuing with major programs. For instance, we completed exams for almost 50,000 TVET learners at the second cycle level. And this 50,000? Yeah, just for 1 year, almost 50,000 compared to previously, prior to 2017, the entire 3 years was about 50,000. So to organize exams for them, and I believe the media did not hear much about because we have instituted what we call serialization and randomization. So the learners going to TVET exams, assessment, we have various options, and within the same classroom, we have about 6 different versions of the same exam. So we are going through the review, and we hope that the exams will be released soon. And we are continuing with the upgrading of our TVET institutions. As I'm talking to you, some technical universities are receiving equipment. Same applies to some technical institutes. We are working to complete the new TVET centers that we have in Akumadan and Sinjakai. You know, we have this district TVET centers of excellence. We had 4 that we had started with, 1 in Nanyinem, 1 in Pechi number 2, and we have the other 2 in Sinjakai in Central region and Akumadan in the Ashanti region. So we are working to finalize it, and we are also working to complete work on the TVET policy that will be looking beyond the next 20 years, and also a TVET strategy plan that will also be looking 2025 for another 5 years. So these are the things that we've got ourselves busy and engaged with. And of course, we are also working to add more sector skill bodies, because we realized that in the past it was always been like the academia and the public sector or government focusing on TVET. We are working on to bring in the industry to be at the center of it. So recently, we just even inaugurated one that is taking care of the media. So the media will be at the center of our TVET training as far as media work is concerned. So largely, we have our hands full, and I think it's good.
That's a lot of activity you've been up to within this short period. But then let's get into the Africa Skills Week and look at the collaboration, AU, Ghana, and the fact that it's happening in Accra, I mean, between the 14th and the 18th. How come we were selected? What exactly happened for us to be selected?
I think that is where we all have to be excited about what we have done in Ghana as far as TVET is concerned, because African Union wouldn't have considered Ghana if we aren't doing anything good about TVET transformation agenda. If we look at, I was talking about the enrollment numbers that has tripled prior to 2017. We're looking at the upgrading of our TVET institutions. We are looking at the new legal environment that have realigned TVET in the country. We're looking at the investment that is going into the various institutions. And we're looking at, even most importantly, having to bring industry into TVET. It's going to be a very tough task, but I think it's doable. It is possible.
That is bringing private enterprise
yes, it is
into TVET.
Definitely, because we haven't had this practice in a long time. Every businessman is thinking about the bottom line. Why should they be involved in training? Why should they be contributing to training? But if you look at all the advanced countries, and I always go back to Germany because we have spent a lot of time going back and forth in Germany. I've spent a good amount of my time since I've been in TVET to go to Germany. And you realize that anytime you engage a private person in Germany, they tell you that they found some kind of happiness in training the next employee, whether for themselves or for another company. And they even get to pay them. And it's not like government is giving them a tax rebate. It's a chicken and egg situation, and we cannot liken their system directly to ours. But we need to bring in the industry on board, getting them to appreciate and understand that whatever we are doing as government is for them. Because a government creates the enabling environment for industry to be successful. And one of the things that is very silent, but is a very significant, it has a very significant role in the success of every organization, is the skilled labor that one wants. And I was just reading a report that is between the African Union Commission and the OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And it's talking about Africa's skills in jobs and development dynamics. And it's what we are doing in Ghana is not different from what the OECD has recommended in collaboration with the African Union. So no wonder that the African Union has looked at all these things, so they agreed that Ghana should be chosen as the first country to host this Africa Skills Week. You know, the working population...
So this is the first time it's...
There's a maiden one that African Union is organizing, because this year is the year of education, and African Union wants to focus on how do we ensure that our member states do develop the skills that we need. You know, the working age in Africa is between the ages of 15 and 64. And per the OECD, the return on investment in training people in Africa is higher than compared to Latin America.
We have a much more youthful population as well.
And also, if somebody should add just a year of learning or skill training onto their learning or skills, it increases their income by 10% plus. So it's higher compared to other continents. So African Union and Ghana believes that the 15 to 64 years of our age is tend to, in the next 25 years, we believe that it's going to double. That number is going to double. So not that currently we still have the largest youthful population, but the next 25
by
years,
2050
it's going to double. So that it means Africa, our best bet is to improve on skill development.
So that is a clear point. But in terms of putting this together, and in terms of even Ghana being selected, what has been the role of the Ministry of Education and the TVET in all of this?
So this is an agreement, this Africa Skills Week, the maiden one, is an agreement between the government of Ghana and African Union, and is being done on behalf of government of Ghana by the Ministry of Education. So the agreement has been signed by the Ministry of Education on behalf of government of Ghana. Right. Yeah, but the Commission for TVET is the one that is doing the do to support the Ministry of Education.
So you are doing the groundwork?
Yeah, we are doing the operations and coordinating it on behalf of the Ministry of Education. But the Ministry of Education, being led by the Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Sedichum, is the one that is leading this and signing the agreement on behalf of government of Ghana.
And in terms of key stakeholders, so Ministry of Education,
TVET. Then we have the TVET service also supporting, and we have Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, DTEC, also supporting. Then we have our development partners like the GIZ, UNESCO is supporting. We have ILO supporting, and we have TTEL supporting. So we have a wide range of stakeholders. We have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In fact, I must appreciate the engagement and the role that is being played by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They've been there from day one, working with the local organizing committee, because we're expecting over 400 delegates from outside Ghana to come in. So Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have the national security being part of it. We have the state protocol being part of it. We have the Ghana Police being part of it, and we have Immigration Service being part of it. And in the last couple of meetings, we also have the ambulance service also being part of it. So this is a national program, and we have all the major stakeholders being part of it. And I'm excited the way when we work together as a team in Ghana, how much we're able to pull together in the shortest possible time. I'm grateful that I'm a member of this committee. I'm happy to be a Ghanaian, because this is going to go down history, that Ghana is the first country to host Africa Skills Week, and other ones will be continuing. And I believe that the next time it comes back to Ghana again, we would have made a huge jump as far as our TVET.
The impact would have been a lot
training is concerned.
Who can participate in this event? And at the event proper, who are the major, invited guests who are going to be there?
So, like I said earlier, we have 400 delegates coming out of country to Ghana, which is made up of the African Union Commission. We have the various development partners at the African level. We have member states coming in. We have ministers of education coming in. We have
from all over Africa.
Yeah, no, we have about 6 ministers of education. Because this is the maiden one, and you see, it has a lot of challenges. And for Ghana to be given this challenge and we taking up the challenge is something that is commendable. We have other heads of agencies for various countries. We have chief directors in various countries coming in for this event. We have completed the local registration because we are limiting the numbers. This is a highly policy-oriented skills week, and African Union will want all other member states to commemorate this week within their various countries, but the major and the main event is happening in Accra, in Ghana. And we believe that at the end of the week, we're going to have major decisions taken. We'll be looking at the Africa TVET strategy and how it aligns with the OECD report, which will focus on nothing but skills and jobs. Our problem in Africa is not resources. Because if it comes to natural resources, we have it. If it comes to the human resources, we have it. But the skilled human resource is what we are lacking. And if we can skill our people, to the level that can respond to the new trends and the new industrial revolution, the new one that we are expecting. The 4th industrial revolution is already ending. Already some countries have moved into the 5th industrial revolution, and we cannot keep on lacking behind. We have to leapfrog. And to do that, we have to take some drastic decisions. And some of the things will include making sure that industry sits at the center of TVET, making sure that there's enough investment into TVET, and making sure that a good number, a larger number of the population or the citizenry is given skills that can respond to the current needs of the economy. And that is, so if we are looking at agric alone can create a huge amount of jobs. And you have a lot of people in agric, but how skilled are they? And we need to make sure we make it sexy, starting from the early levels, making sure that people appreciate skill training. Because hate it or like them, the Western world have more people in skills training and making sure they have soft skills in addition. So they're able to adjust with whatever changes that come around. So that's what they are doing. And we in Africa cannot do different and think that we can just keep writing and memorizing and we can, no, it's not possible.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, so we have to focus on making sure that people are skilled, both hard and soft skills is given to people.
Making agric sexy, you remind me of Mo Ibrahim back then. He started talking about making agric sexy, the Sudanese British businessman, the billionaire. So it was interesting to hear you say that because we need more young people in that. But in terms of this week-long event, what are your objectives? What are the outcomes that you are expecting at the end of the week-long event that we can hold on to as Africa, yes, but as Ghana and say this is the next step and this is where we mean to go?
Yeah, the first objective is to create more awareness about the significance of skill going with jobs and to make sure that we can have more people focusing on skill training. We can create more awareness among the private sector. Then the next objective is to come out with a policy document that will either affirm our TVET policy that we've worked on, the draft, or some lessons learned that we can use to improve on the TVET policy. It's in a draft state and we are working to finalize it. So we believe that Ghana should have some lessons learned, tapping into all this knowledge that is coming from across the continent and across the world as well, because we will have participation from people from Europe, the Pacific Asia, and other countries coming in. So we want to make sure that there should be a policy document that we can also learn from or update our notes.
It must be knowledge sharing, right?
Yes.
It must be symbiotic.
Yeah, because it's going to be more of technical discussions that will dive deep into the real issues, not just a fanfare.
Let me just ask you this. Usually when we talk about policy and then technical discussions, like you say, I was just at an event, the West Africa Civil Society Institute, and the UN representative, coordinator in Ghana, Charles Abani, was speaking. A number of them spoke. We have the finest policies. Emil Short was there. Fine policies. The devil is always in the implementation. So we do this, we have all of these great events, but what we've taken, that's the issue many people are.
And I think that is where Ghana is a good example as far as TVET is concerned. Because if you look at the TVET strategy plan that we put in place, we've moved to implement every bit of it. Because I don't believe in putting things on paper without implementing it. We talked about realigning of TVET institutions to the Ministry of Education. That has been done. We talked about having a major act to guide the regulation of TVET. That has been done, Act 1023. We talked about having an act to make sure we have a pre-tertiary delivery agency. Act 1049, TVET service has been set up. Commission for TVET has been set up. We talk about sector skill bodies. As I'm talking to you, we have over 16 sector skill bodies that have been set up, and they are supporting the implementation of curriculum development in TVET. For the first time, we printed over 1 million textbooks to support TVET institutions that was developed with the contribution from the private sector. We talked about investing in TVET institutions and improving infrastructure. All that have been done. So every little thing that we talked about in the strategy has been implemented. So it's good. Ghana, where we are moving towards, it's good that the things that we put on paper, we implement it. That's why I'm happy. Let me go on this tangent. His Excellency Bawumia is talking about 1 million digital skills. These are not things that is just going to be on paper. As I'm talking to you, implementation is being done and the structures are being put in place. If you go to my constituency in Offenso North, now we have telephonic structures being expanded so that if you are talking about digital skill training, not only those in Accra are going to be benefiting, those in the interlands are also going to have the infrastructure in place to benefit. So for me, where we are looking, where we are sitting at, is not going to be just a talk, but it's going to be implementation of the talk. Okay. And that is what I'm excited about.
Let me ask you, over the last 7 years, you've been up to quite a number of things. You talk about the 50,000 that you have been adding on practically every year in recent times, compared to maybe the years before. Do you think we can sustain this drive? What will it take to sustain it, regardless of whether Dr. Fred Asamoah is there or someone else is there? How do we sustain it? Because that's one of our key problems in Ghana. If one person moves, one person is achieving and moves, next person comes and sometimes the system grinds to a halt. How do we achieve that?
For me personally, if you move from a place and the place collapses, that means you are not doing a good job. Okay, you should have structures in place to be able to ensure sustainability and accountability. So that is one. Then two, we've already started working on a TVET policy that will be looking beyond the next 20 years. So it's no more about any individual, it's about a system. And that is what this government, the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia government have been trying to do. Most of the places did not have systems in place. And when you put systems in place, the systems are going to check the individuals and the human beings. So nobody or no one person can come in and say that I want to rewind the whole thing. Let's take, for instance, the Ghana card. Now, yesterday I wanted to update my phones. I had to go back to the house, go and grab my Ghana card and come back. So now it's no more about me as a person that I can sit in my office and send somebody to go and just change my phone. You have to be there in person. Right. So when you have systems in place and you have policies that are accountable, then of course, it doesn't matter who is there. Now we have Act 1023, we have Act 1049. You can't change it as a person. Even if you want to change, you can update and upgrade it, but you cannot come in and change it and collapse it because
So the systems are in place, and we can look to more from the TVET.
Exactly. So the TVET policy, we are expecting that by close of year, it will be finalized. The TVET strategic plan, which is the short-term plan, we are expecting that it to be finalized. We are working on to make sure that there's a sustainable funding. I'm happy that His Excellency Bawumia has put as part of his manifesto to make sure we have a fund that will be dedicated, the skill development fund that will be focusing on skill training, because that is the way we have to go, and a skill cast across. Then, of course, the involvement of sector skill bodies. And I'm also happy that sector skill bodies have been included in the manifesto of His Excellency Bawumia to make sure that industry sits at the center of skill training. Ben, nobody can better support training in the media than you can. Probably I might have gone to a media school to acquire a PhD or a master's degree in media, but the kind of experience you have here, if you bring on board and you spend a day or two, or you have learners coming to your place and spend a day or two, there will be a better trained, skilled people than just focusing on just academy. academic work. It could be in digital skills, it could be in agriculture, it could be in the health sector, it could be in the construction sector, whatever sector. The industry people are the best people to support training. Go to China, go to India, go to the Americas, go to Europe. Those that are supporting training and always turning around quick is the industry. Innovation is always coming from the industry, and they have a short turnaround time. So we in Ghana can do different. We have to have industry. No matter how bad or good our industry is, they need to be sitting at the center of our skill training. And that is something that is being enforced in the law, and the next MPP government is also excited that they've stated it categorically, the role that will be played by industry as far as skills.
To cap off the conversation, I'd like you to do two brief things for me, your final words. What then can we expect? You've already elaborated on some of that as the next phase, the next level, the future of TVET in Ghana. And tell us a bit more about the Africa Skills Week. Those two final bits to cap off the conversation.
So the entire week, starting from the 14th of October to the 18th of October, has various activities that have been lined out. Day one is going to be a study tour of our TVET system by the external people that will be coming into the country. We have about 200 people that have already signed up to visit our TVET institutions. Then that same day, on the Monday, the 14th, at the Palms, which is situated or located at the La Palm Beach Hotel in Accra, we'll be having a youth summit where the youth will also be engaging and having a discussion. The second day, which is the 15th of October, is a Tuesday, we're going to have the official opening by His Excellency or his representative. Then we'll have major ministerial discussions and other side discussions that will be ensuing. Then it will be followed through with various plenary discussions. We'll have breakout sessions that will go on for the entire week until Friday, where we'll close and have a communique. So it's a fully packed week, and we already have the African Union advanced team in Ghana that are working with us to make sure we can cross out all the T's and dot all the I's.
All right. Doc, thank you so much for the work you're doing. Thanks for coming through. And we'll see. We'll try and pass through the Africa Skills Week and see what is happening there.
Thank you very much. And I'm excited. I think this document by the OECD on the dynamic nature of skill development and jobs for Africa needs to be looked at and misread, because this document, as we sit here, is true today, and the next 20 years is going to be true. But we, like you said, making sure that we are keeping to our words and we are putting them in action.
It's definitely one that maybe some other time we can delve into properly and find out what we can glean from there. And that is the Director General of the CTVET, the Commission on TVET. That is Dr. Fred Che Asamoah, joining us on the AM show. Now stay with us. Up next, we'll be bringing you another very interesting conversation, one of those from the Democracy Hub, and what her ordeal was. She'll be sharing that with us right here on the AM show. Do stay. We'll be back.